Hello, my name is Perry Jones. I'm new to the Sub2 community, but wanted to do a short video on how to set up your own website, email, and CRM system on the cheap for less than $100. You can do this with a low-cost web service provider. I use idcsoft.com. If you use this referral link, it will help discount my future purchases. It doesn't really give me much, so just use it if you can. So let's get started. Hey there. So let's jump right in. First thing we need to do is set up an actual website. I like to use inexpensive hosting called IDC Soft. If you go to idcsoft.com, if you use the /C 1009737008, that's actually a referral code. Gets me a little bit of a discount on my hosting services, but these guys are super cheap web hosting. They've got servers all over the world. You can get their basic web hosting. This basic web hosting will get you all set up with everything you can do to self-manage and create your own websites. I got some builders, that kind of stuff. I'll take you through all of that, but you can get started here. $8 a month. You only need the minimum plan. Pick a server in the US. Right, comes with all these options, SSL certificates, 24-hour support. This really is a self-managed type of web hosting. Website builder, that's what I'm going to take you through, how to set up the actual website builder. And then in a more advanced module, I'll take you through installing software for setting up a CRM. So do order. Once you got your order in here, you can select a domain name that you want to use, and it will search for different results. I just put one in here. Looks like sub2rules.com is actually available, so I could register this domain name, tell it a data center in the US, economy plan, $8 a month. You pay by 1 year, or if you do 2 years, this does the domain registration and everything. It actually bumps it down. The price goes down a little bit. 3 years, it bumps it down even more. So you can get really, really cheap. I usually do it 2 years at a time for my hosting to get me up and running. So that's where I'd go to idsoft.com and purchase your hosting. Once you're in, you'll get some onboarding emails and everything. We'll have you create your logon information, all that kind of stuff. So then we can go to, say, the actual web address, HTTPS. Here's a site that I set up earlier, jonesrealtynewyork.com. This is my website that I've set up and used their builder, and this is what I'm going to take you through. So once you have your website and your domain, you just go to your web address /CP for control panel. Alright, so now that you have your hosting account, let's log back into our control panel. Again, it's going to be your web address with CP for control panel at the end. Boom. Then log in. Jones Realty New York is my website, and username and password that you created when you created the account. Log in. Boom, we're back to our main control panel here. And if you want to turn on SSL for your website itself, you can click here, SSL HTTP, turn that on. So that's, you won't get those nasty messages saying, encryption is not supported or broken and you look like a spam website. You can do that under here, set that up. Mail manager, you can create as many email accounts as you want. I usually create like an info at my website, so I can use that as like a generic email that I can use when I set up the website itself. And then, of course, the website builder. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've created a subdomain since I already have my main website. So this would be the same. You just wouldn't have this. Just go in. You can select where you're going to put it. You just keep your main one here. I'm just going to do this demo Jones New York. And then you can select a template that you want to use. So you can go through, find a template that looks cool, looks like it might fit your business, something that you could easily edit for the features and functions that you want. This is a really simple email editor. You could use WordPress, but I feel like WordPress is more of an advanced web building tool. So in this particular case, let's select and use this template with the cars. We can go down to the bottom here and hit install, and the website builder is going to go ahead and populate that template in those default pages so that I can now go in and edit them. It's going to ask me for just some simple information. It puts this into the template as well. So an email address that you created, there you go, and it's going to add all of this information to the template it's filling out. 1, 2, 3 Main Street, yep, City, New York, 1, 2, 3, 4, New York, country, USA, phone number, 1, 2, 3, 555, 1212. Continue. It's going to populate all that into your website form. Now, once you're in, you can actually click through and take the guided tour on how to do this. So it will show you. You can just click on different parts of the text and edit it. You can customize the video, the actual blocks and stuff on the sides that you use, but it actually is really simple. It's not much harder than using PowerPoint. When you're logged in through the control panel on the edit page, you can literally just, highlight this stuff and change it. Sub to demo page. If you hit the check mark, it will make sure it takes right away. Creative. Boom. Welcome to our website. You can change like the pictures if you want. Choose an image, change, save changes, join us. This links probably to, you can change the text on it, contact us, and you can link it to a new URL that's outside, or you can link it to another page, say like contact page, boom. So now this will actually go to the contact page. We can go through, we can delete blocks if we highlight them. You'll see there's a little delete here, so you can remove it. Yep, I want to remove it. I can move blocks around. If I grab this, I can actually, move it up in the stack or move it down in the stack. Same with any of these others. And of course, I can always click on the text and change the text and the pictures and the icons, phone numbers, as well as you can see it populated the phone number here, email address, it populated all that. You can change all that. Social media links down here. This is kind of neat. You gotta actually select this block, boom, boom, and then click on social media, and you can actually tell it where you want it to go. So if you had a particular place you wanted to send this to, say like to the sub to Facebook group, you change it here, say save, and then of course now that link is going to, you can see in the hyperlink text there, it goes to sub 2 now versus just Twitter or YouTube. So you can change all that. Pages are all pretty easy too. You can just click on, say like about, come in here and edit this content. If you're having trouble coming up with content, just go out to ChatGPT, offer it up some suggestions and say, hey, create me a welcome for my investment website that focuses on sub 2 and the benefits that my company provides, and it will come back with something that you can then edit and make your own. And that's it. You're up and running. Now that I've made all these changes, I can go out to, say, another web browser, because I don't want it to be logged in, but I'll show you. Move tab to new window, go over here. Let's go to demo.jonesrealty.com and you can say, hey, look, demo page up and running, and that's it. Contact us. We change that, takes us right to the contact page, which we can fill out with our address and everything. We can delete that, we can add sections and go from there. And that's how simple it is to set up a basic website using Web Builder from the IDC Soft website. And then for $8 a month, or if you got multiple years, you basically have yourself a professional looking landing page. Now, you can go through and do other things like create squeeze pages and other things like that, but that's the basics of how to get up and started with a web page. Alright, now that we have a basic website set up, one of the neat things with self-hosted is I don't have to pay anymore for advanced features. Now, this is a little bit more of an advanced topic, but I'm going to show you how to download and install a free CRM tool. So I'm going to go out and Espresso CRM. I'm going to look for that. Now, they do have some paid features, but they have a free downloadable version and some plugins for real estate that really will give you a step up from just using spreadsheets, and you'll be able to do a little bit more, just have a basic CRM versus just going back to the spreadsheet. So we can go through, and once you to fill in your username and password, agree to information that they want here. But once you've done that, it will let you download their CRM package. I've already gone ahead and done this, so let me take you over there and show you what I've got. So I've gone ahead and downloaded the Espresso, however you want to say that, CRM software, and it came down as a zip file. In Windows, I can just right click it and say extract all. It'll extract it to a folder with the same name, but here are all the files. We're going to want to take all these files and upload them to our hosting service so that we can install this app. It's a PHP driven web application for self-hosting CRM systems. So before we get started, we need some sort of tool to upload to the hosting that we set up earlier. I usually go out and just grab WinSCP. It's a FTP/secure transfer client. You can just go out winscp.net and download the latest version, either from the Microsoft Store or from their website directly. It's not a very big application. So once you get that installed, we can go ahead and fire up WinSCP. I'm not going to show you the install of it, but once it's installed and you start it up, it looks quite a bit like this. So we are going to connect to a secure FTP server. That's going to be our hosting environment. Now we want to actually connect to a website and a location where we want to store this. I'm going to pause here for a second. So let's go back to our control panel. So if you remember before, it's just our domain name with CP at the end. We can put in our username and password that we created when we actually purchased our hosting. Let's see if I typed that right. Good, we're in. All right. So before I have a place to upload the files to, I'm actually going to make a subdomain. I like to do this so that it's not in my main domain, because we use that web site builder to set up our website off the main one. So if we go in here, we can look for a option here, subdomains down here towards the bottom, and we can actually create a subdomain of, let's say, CRM. So that means that we'll be able to go to the website crm.jonesrealtynewyork.com or whatever your domain is and get to this application once we install it and get it up and running. Okay, so now we're connected to, we've got another domain set up, www.crm.com. Now I'm going to go back to here, and we're going to connect to Jones Realty New York. Jones Realty New York does not exist. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't put the .com on it. .com. Let's try that. Boom, authentication. It's going to ask you, it's going to do keys between the two. So everything you send up there is actually going to be secure. I must have mistyped my password, so I'm going to retype my password. This is the same password that I use for the control panel. Oh, that doesn't work. We're going to have to take a time out and figure out what's going on with that. Alright, I think I figured out what's going on. So back on the control panel, so log back in, there's SSH Access Manager. Click on SSH Access Manager, and then password authentication disabled. Let's enable that. And now let's try bringing up WinSCP. WinSCP. Boom. We're up. Let's try to log into jonesrealtynewyork.com. Jones Realty New York is our username. Enter our main password and log in. Aha, perfect. Now we're in. Alright, so remember, we downloaded Espresso CRM and we unzipped it. So this is whatever location you unzipped all those files to. Here are all the files. Now we're logged in here on the Jones New York, right? So we're logged into our remote server, our hosting server, and we want to go into this www, World Wide Web. Go in there and you're going to see a bunch of folders here. This www is your main one. This is where we installed our web builder templates and files. Since we created a secondary domain called CRM, let's go into CRM, and we don't actually need any, we want to keep the php.ini file, but we are going to delete the rest of those. Those are just some index files that are there. And then now we're going to upload all of the other files to set up our CRM. Now that's going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to pause while that goes ahead and uploads all our files, and I'll come back once that's done. Alrighty, we're back, and as you can see, the files on the computer now match the files that have been uploaded to your hosting website. So what are we going to do next? We are going to go out to our hosting website and actually set up the CRM software. So let's open a web browser. Let's see here. We want to move this to the window. Alright. So our website that we set up is the subdomain. In my case, it's crm.jonesrealtynewyork.com. And when I load this page, check it out. The install for Espresso CRM has come up, and it's going to walk us through. We can take a look at the installation guide if we want some help here on what to do. You know, requirements, PHP 8, MySQL or later, server configuration, etc. We do need to go set up a database before we can go through the actual configuration here. So let's go do that real quick. So before we go through the installation wizard, let's go back to our main website, control panel, log in. I'd already had my login credentials, so we're good there. So let's go down here to databases and set up a MySQL database that we can use for this particular software, CRM software. So here we go, database. So it's going to prefix this with your website, and MySQL 8 is fine. We can leave whatever that is, and let's just create a database called Espresso CRM. Create. Excellent. We now have a database here that has been created. Let's note this connection information for later. We're going to actually use the 127.0.0.1 port number 3308. This means localhost on that particular port number, or you could use MySQL host 910. This is the server that your website's hosted off of, is hoster910.com, and we can go through that. Now, to administer the database, we're actually going to use PHP admin. This was also back on the control panel main site, but I'm gonna just log in here real quick because okay, we're good here. This shows us that we now have this new database here. So when we go through the installation, we can set that up. But we are missing one thing. We need an admin account that can actually run commands for the database. I didn't need to go back there. I could have just gone to the MySQL user tab, and then let's see here. So we've got Jones, New York, right? We've got a master user with no remote connections. It does it locally. So let's just install an admin account, and you can come up with whatever password works for you. Okay, we don't need a remote connections at this point. This is the database, so Jones _ New York ESPO CRM is where we're going to actually add that to, and click add. And we now have a admin. Oh, my kitty cat saying hello to you. Let's take a look at privileges. Our admin user was created with full privileges, so we are good to go at this point. So let's go back to databases, and this is our database name right here. Let's copy that for later. Let's go back to our installation instructions. So we got PHP, we've got a database set up, server configurations. We should be good here. We uploaded the software already, so we already did that to our website location, and now we're going to actually run the installation wizard. One more thing that it wants us to do is change the permissions to 7755 on the data directory. So we can actually do that from the control panel again. Go back to the control panel, we can go into File Manager. From File Manager, we can take a look at, let's click on the directory over here, CRM, and this data directory, you can see the privileges are set to 755. It wanted us to set it to 775. So let's select that, say change permissions, and we can actually make it 775 and recursive, so that it goes through all the directories, applied to all files and directories. Only add the missing privilege there. Boom. Apply. Boom. Done. Data is now 775. So in our installation instructions, it wanted 775. It did want us to change the owner to 3333 on the main folder. I didn't have any issues by not changing that. Besides, it doesn't let me change the ownership of that. So now let's actually go through the installation. So back to the installation tab, English. There we go. That was the installation guide. Start. We'll accept this. Click next. All right, we're going to use MySQL. That is the database that we're going to use. Host information. Remember that was the 127.0.0.1. We do need the port number. So let's go back to looking at the database information. Port number was 3308, if you remember. So 3308, database name. I just copied that from earlier, but I can always go back to the control panel and look at that. Jones Realty New York Espresso CRM. And I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. All right, username. This will be the user we created, so admin, and the password that you generated for it. Let me make sure this is right. 89. Boom. And then before we go anywhere, we can always test the connection. Boom. All settings are correct. Otherwise, you'll get an error message if you haven't gotten this right. So we're all good here. So when we click next, it's going to go through here. It is telling us that our PHP version, JSON, OpenSSL, everything is successful. I have gone through and installed this before with these two failures here. It doesn't seem to make a big deal, but if you really want to fix those, you can copy this back execution time. You can go back to the control panel here. You can go into the file manager, www, CRM. We can then go to, there should be a PHP file. If you remember, we did not delete the PHP INI file before. And we can add this in there as one of the fields that it wanted, and max input time is the other field that it wanted, and it suggests making both of those 180. So let's go back here, 180 and 180. It didn't seem to make a difference, but if you want to add that to your PHP file within the CRM directory, you can. Save and exit. I haven't tried going back, but let's see what happens when I hit recheck. Nope. It's not picking it up for some reason, but it doesn't matter. It won't affect the settings, or it won't affect the install. So just hit install, and it will run. See, it's doing its thing here. What it's doing is it's populating the database and everything for that PHP, because it keeps everything in that MySQL database when you start creating your contacts and properties and all those fun things. There you go. Espresso CRM is now set up. So now the username we want. So this is the first user. This will be an administrator for this CRM itself. So I'm just going to give it my name, and then I will create a password. So I'll retype my password here. Boom, make sure they're the same. And this will have administrative privileges for your CRM once it's set up. Date format, hours, days of the week. I am East Coast, so I can actually go through here, and LM New York. There we go, New York. Currency is dollars, separator English, and decimal Next. All right. For the ability to send emails out, you can actually have the tool send you emails and that kind of stuff. I usually change this to be whatever that email was that I set up earlier. So info@jonesrealtynewyork.com. Server and port over TSSL. This is sort of interesting. Go back to the control panel for this one and click on home. And then we can go to Mail Manager. And under Mail Manager, let's see here. I've got some accounts for myself here. But what we want to know is, oh, here we go. Look, how do I set up? So this is actually the host, right? So mail.hoster. This address here. So if I go back to the installation, that is the server name, and the port number over TLS. That means that it's a secure channel. So the port number to send over SSL TLS or SSL TLS encrypted is 465 or 587. I'm just going to grab 587 and then go here back to the install. 587 happens to be the port that it was already set to. TLS. Okay, we can do next. Alright, now add this line to your cron job, right? But for right now, it's not a big deal. Continue. Alright, let's see what we got. Now that we've installed the basic software, it's created all the databases, we can now log in using the name and password that we used when we ran through the setup here in the web browser. Boom, I'm in. This is a basic CRM. Now this Espresso CRM has some paid features, but for just getting up and started, it's actually not too bad. You know, we've got accounts, we've got contacts, we've got opportunities that we can go through, and there's also on their website they have an upgrade option as well. So we can go ahead and install the upgrade option as well, that is for real estate. That makes it a little more usable for our purposes of putting in properties and then reaching out to those properties. So let's go out to their website and download CRM, the real estate features. So features, I think it is. Oh, these are some of their paid. Their paid things like calendar integration and Outlook integration, that kind of stuff is some of their paid features here. Extensions maybe. Here we go. They got some advanced workflow packs, sales packs, Outlook integration, Google integration, MailChimp integration, voice over IP. Here's a cool one that I like, is the real estate one. Alright, so let's download this free real estate one. We'll just go in here. Real estate extension adds 2 entities, properties, and requests. So we can have properties and requests. Let's go ahead and download this. We want the zip file is what you want to go download. So go ahead and download that to your download directory. There you go. It's not very big. Done. Now we can go back into our CRM here. And let's see here. Under administration, we got all sorts of features here. Let's see. Is it upgrade? No, this is just to upgrade the software. Let's see what we can do. Oh, extensions. Here we go. Extensions. Choose a file. Now, in this case, we didn't have to actually unzip the file, we can just upload the zip file itself. Upload, and look, the real estate extension 17 is ready for install. Install. Done. Installed. Alright. Excellent. You'll see this is going to refresh. And now, in addition to accounts, contacts, leads, and opportunities, we now have properties and requests. So as we go through and we do our cold calling, we can actually go in here now and say create a new property, apartment, separate house, etc. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I have actually customized some of these, because I do things like multifamily and those types of things. So not only is there separate house and that kind of stuff, for sale, you can set it to whatever contact you created, who owns it, what price they're looking for, and then you can put requests in for buying and selling as well. It's very similar. But under here, under house and types, there are some options to actually customize this to make it more usable for our purposes. You can leave it as is, and you'll have everything here, for a basic CRM. You can even go down here and create tasks for yourself. So if you need to follow up with somebody, like a contact, you can go in here and create a contact, create a task to follow up. You can say what the property is, and you can set yourself a due date, and then you'll have a whole list. They'll populate on your main screens here of follow-up type things. But real quick, I'm going to just show you that if you're not happy with some of these options, like say request, rent, sale, apartment, say you wanted to add multifamily to this, well, we can go back to the administration page, and we can look for, let's see here, currency, notifications, jobs, nope. Believe it is entity manager. Edit custom entities, manage fields and relationships. Oh, it must be here. Layout manager. Customize layout, list, details, edit, search. This is manage fields. Let's try this one first. Entity manager. Okay. Real estate properties. That's the one we were looking at. Boom. Okay, cool. Let's look at the fields. Okay. Different fields in here. I know we were looking at type is what we were looking at, but obviously you can change all of these. You can do things like put default values in, that kind of stuff. So you see here we've got apartment, separate house, Say I want to add multi-family to this list. Add. And the reason I show you this, it took me a while to find it. Okay, cool. Multifamily is now added to the list. Another thing is, usually I'm going after a separate house or an individual house first. So I'm going to put that as my default value. And I think we're good here. Hit save. And now I'm going to go back to property, create property, and boom, we got multifamily here. Look at that. And we're looking to sell it. And we can set locations. If you're doing geographical locations or cities or towns, you can set that. You can put in the address here. 3 Main. Could be in New York. It could be New York. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Price. Trying to get 300,000 for it. Description, for family unit, right? If we had users and stuff, we can actually assign other users to this and assign them it as well. Right now we're just running as the default as admin, and when I save that, I now have a property in my property request here. So now I can do things like create leads or opportunities. So I can actually create an opportunity, the stage it's in, prospecting, select the property. If I put a contact information in, I could actually put the contact person in here as well. Request. There isn't a request with this particular one, which this is sort of a funny thing with the tool. If I hit save, amount, it forces me to put in an amount. A new leads that I don't know how much I'm going to get on them. I just put $1,000. Hit save. Now, weird thing is though, this opportunity is unnamed. It was trying to auto name it, and it names it based off of the property address and a request. Since we hadn't made any requests that we assigned to it, this shows unnamed. So if I do a request, make a request here. Actually, let's make a contact before I make a request. So new contact for our CRM here, John Doe John at gmail.com, right? 123-555-1212, street address, that kind of stuff. We can put all that in, but we don't need it. All right, so contact. Let's go back to requests. Let's create a request, and let's say John wants to rent. Oh, here's another one that we could add a buy here by going back to those features, right? So we've got rent, we've got sale. So sale, multifamily, contact is John Doe, location, price, from 10,000 up to, I don't know, 400,000. Right, we can put some more notes in here, etc. Save request. Now if I go back to my opportunity and I click on this and I click edit, if this was in there before, I could have added the request to go along with it. Save. You'll see now that this property is now tied to a request, in this particular case a request to sell it, right? And I could go back and in my opportunities here and see that. Now we also have the comp on board type thing, prospecting, etc., and you can actually drag these requests along through the stages as well. So there you have it. That's how to set up basic CRM with Espresso CRM and the real estate plugin to get you started. The only other thing you might want to do is create some additional users. You can always take a look at the administration preferences here, and we've got users and roles. When you create a user, you are going to have to create a role and assign privileges to them as well. So here, I'll take you through it real quick. Create a role, and we'll just say user. Okay. Export permissions, group email permissions. So we can go through and set everything that we want them to be able to do. So since I'd pretty much make my users, because it's only myself and some other people I trust, all I'm gonna basically make them assign all, yes, data privacy, all. The only thing I'm not going to let them do is create accounts. So I'm going to enable everything else: calendars, calls, campaigns, cases, enable all this stuff. The only thing they won't be able to do is create a new user account. They'll have all the powers of my admin account. Alright, that is everything that's in here. They don't have delete privileges either. You can turn on the delete privileges if you want. So this role is now enabled, so we can save this role. Now we can go back to, that's the roles. Let's go back and now actually create a user. Users, we got admin. I'm going to create a new user. Let's call this user Jackie. First name Jackie, last name Doe. You can put a picture up if you want. Email Jackie@gmail.com. You can put phone numbers, all that kind of stuff. Gender. You can set the password for them. This will be the password they'll use to log in. They should get an email that this is available. Although we have to go back and fix that cron job that sends those emails before that will work. And we want to select the role that she belongs to. User role. Okay. Boom. So now we actually have another user. If I log out, I'll be able to log in as Jackie and my new password. Boom. Look at that. Opportunities already there. Contacts already there. Leads, requests, properties, etc. There we go. And your CRM is set up and you're good to go. Let me know if you have any questions.